Hi everybody, so today I'm going to teach you how to file your nails. I'm going to focus on three very popular shapes, and that's almond, oval and squoval. In case you don't know, squoval's a mix of square and oval, and so it's a square look without being as sharp at the corners. So to start off with, you're going to need a file. My file is called Grey Fox and it is by EzFlow, and it is 180 grit. That means that this file is actually a little bit too harsh for the natural nail. It's better to have a 240 grit file. However, this file is a wee bit old and has been used quite a few times already, so the grit would have worn down to the amount I want it to be. If your nails are more prone to splitting and breaking, you might want to use something like this rough remover by Mambo. What I'm going to use it for though is just to smooth off my nails after I've filed them. I'll explain more as I go along. So the most recommended way to file your nails is to file in the direction of your nail growth, so file towards your tip. Apparently this can help with nail growth. I haven't really seen the research behind that, but it's a good way to file your nails anyway. So I do recommend doing it this way, however I'm not going to pretend I do this all the time. Most of the time I go back and forth just because it's faster and quicker and easier. So here's an example of going back and forth. Going back and forth like this though can damage your nails if your file is too harsh, and if your nails are naturally quite weak and splitty, it could be worse for them. Like it can separate all the keratin layers out and make them just a bit splitty and prone to breaking. So the safest way really is to go in the direction of nail growth. There is a third way, and that is just to go in one direction, which also works really well. The biggest thing is to know your nails. Start safe, start doing the nail growth way, and then if you think your nails can really handle it, if they're really strong and they don't break like mine don't, then you could try going back and forth. For this video I'll be using all three of these ways simply because my nails are really tough, but for you just use a file in a way that suits you. If you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, it helps me a lot, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so the first thing is the way you tilt your file will change the shape of your nail. If your file is straight, you'll make a square nail. If you tilt it slightly under your nail, you'll make a squoval nail. If you tilt it more, you'll make an oval, and even more, you'll make an almond. My nails are very long and squoval at the moment, and first I'm going to change them to almond. This always looks best with longer nails, as it's hard to achieve the pointy tips with shorter ones. Tilt your file right under your nail and start filing. As you can see, I've turned my hand around because this gives me a bit more control. Once you've got the basic shape, you might want to file from the side walls to make it a bit more pointy. Take a step back every now and again and compare them, making sure they're all a very similar shape. Focus on the overall nail length rather than the length of the whites. This is because the whites, also known as a free edge, can start from different places on the nail bed. For example, the white on my index finger starts quite a lot lower down than the other nails. Alright, I'm going to leave my almond nails there. Although if you wanted to make them more pointy you could, I just didn't want to go too hard out because I'm filming the oval shape next. Alright, now oval. Oval is usually found on shorter nails. They aren't as pointy as almond and nowhere near as square as squoval. In this part of the video I'll also show you how to make sure that your nails match across both hands, and how to smooth off your nails after filing. Okay, so for oval you want to do the same thing as before, except this time make sure the file, while still under your nail, isn't on such a strong angle. This will make it more of a round look rather than a pointy almond. Once you're happy with the basic shape and length, use the file to make sure all the corners are nice and smooth and round. Next I'm using the finer grit side of the rough remover just to buff around the edges of my nails. This helps to prevent splits later on and makes it feel nice and smooth. When you do your other hand, make sure you compare your nails as you go. For example, here I've got my index finger of my right hand and my index finger of my left hand, and I'm just comparing them to see that they're the same length. Again, don't worry about the whites tend to be different shapes anyway, and just focus on the length and the shape. So those are my oval nails done. Of course, if you've got shorter nails, you don't have to do the whole filing under your nail thing, instead just work from the side walls. Just make sure you keep looking at it from different directions though, otherwise it might end up a bit wonky and going in the wrong direction. And finally I'm going to show you how I get my Squoval nails. Place your file on a slight angle so you'll still get it more squoval than square, and start filing. To get some more control and to round off the edges a little bit, turn your hand around. File alongside the sidewalls to make them nice and straight, and use the file to smooth out any corners that might be a little bit too sharp. I also used a buffer after this to smooth out the edges like I did in the previous ones. And that's how I file my nails. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.